Welcome, welcome, welcome to Dear God Help Me, I Need Experience, the VGC laddering show where I try out rental teams in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. This week's interesting. We've got a Zacian Kyogre team, which is two restrictors that I really don't play at all. I recently made a Life Orb Groudon team that I've been enjoying, but I don't vibe with Kyogre very well. I also don't vibe with Zacian very well either, but that's for completely different reasons. But we're going to keep this brief since I took a very long time getting this set up. So the team functions more or less the way you'd expect it to. You got the Endeavor, Focus Sash, Whimsicott. That's, I wouldn't want to call it standard, but that's very much something that's gone around in this metagame. Zacian, the really interesting part is the Zacian, I guess. It's got Iron Head instead of Behemoth Blade, which is, it's a choice. You're allowed to do that. I think it's silly. I'll be honest, I'll say that right now. I think that's dumb, but you're allowed to. I would mention Chien-Pao with the Life Orb and Terra Stellar, but that's also been reasonably popular as of late, so I'm not going to harp on it for too long. I think it could be really good. It is a little bit scary, though, when you have to deal with things like Iron Hands or other such Pokemon. I'm blanking on all of them. Then you have the Kyogre. It's Terra Electric, which I think is interesting. It'll pair really well with the Rain and the Thunder, which I think is kind of the core idea. It does make me feel a bit antsy because if you're in like a Trick Room matchup, you're gonna never click Terra Electric unless you absolutely have to pick up a range. But even then, I'd be very hesitant since Pokemon like Calyrex Ice get the high horsepower. They also have Glacial Lance, which always hits for good damage. So I don't expect Terra Electric will come up very often. And then you have the Landorus, which is a pretty standard Scarf Landorus minus Terra Ground. But given the context, I think Terra Ground actually could work really, really well since the intention is to bring your Landorus in, get a damage boost with the Terastallization, and then spam Sandsear Storm. And if you can pull that off, well, that's pretty good. Just to keep it real. Second last, but definitely least, Jugulis. I suspect that'll come to most games, honestly. Like, it just provides really solid support. Unfortunately, there's no electric terrain on the team, so you can't have Jugulis holding the Covert Cloak, which is weirdly taken by Kyogre, not Whimsicott or Chien-Pao, which I think is interesting. That being said, it would have been a few weeks ago at this point, but I went on this little streak for a couple days straight where I was playing a lot of Regulation I on Showdown, and I kept seeing teams like this all the damn time. It was weird. That definitely died off pretty quick, and there's probably a reason for it, but, you know, for the fact that I've seen it so much and that I lost so many games to teams like this, let's do the namesake of this show and get some experience. Battle 1. Well, I'm a bit scared now, actually. Heatran is not a Pokemon I've really had to play against. Neither is Cresselia. The rest of it's normal, but those two at the bottom, they spook me. So, looking at the team, we've got a Koraidon Cali Ice team, which is less than popular, but clearly it has some value. I personally think it's probably solid. Anywho, looking at the team, if I can get dominant control of weather, this game should go quickly and easily, but I'm looking at my team and I'm not really seeing tons of answers to Pokemon like, let me lock in my Pokemon. I'm not seeing tons of flexibility against Pokemon like Calyrex Ice, which is a bit scary since I don't really have defensive switch-ins. My hope is to use Whimsicott to do a little bit of damage, support Chien-Pao, and try to take knockouts quickly. If I can shut them out of terrain, then that's really what I need. Turn 1, we are absolutely protecting Chien-Pao here. I cannot afford to ever let Chien-Pao take a fake out Moonblast combination or Dazzling Gleam from the opponent. It could be Dazzling Gleam. So, we know it up front. We have to protect Chien-Pao here. Whether I'm Tailwinding, going for the Endeavor prediction to try and hit the Flutter Mane. Ooh, that's not a terrible idea. Try to break Flutter Mane's set. Yeah, oh no, I can't hit Flutter Mane with Endeavor. I know what I'm doing. That being said, I will just go for the Endeavor and assume that they're attacking Whimsicott somewhat aggressively. Because if they do, great. Fake out fails, perfect. I want to see Dazzling Gleam, ideally. Depending on how much Dazzling Gleam. My Endeavor moves next. It chips the Rillaboom, that's the key detail. Given the circumstances, I really can't keep Chien-Pao in here. Defensively, Zacian is the best. Can I beat... I need to get out of Trick Room if I'm going to switch Zacian in, which means if I'm going to switch Zacian in, I have to click Trick Room with Whimsicott. You know what? Actually, yeah, let's do that. I don't think the likelihood of them doubling Whimsicott here is very high. So if they're going to let me unset their Trick Room and get Zacian to the field in somewhat decent position, then let it be. Because I can waste their time since Rillaboom can't take knockouts on either Pokemon here unless they're going to, like, I don't know, Terra Ground High Horse critical hit into the Chien-Pao slot, but I don't see that being very likely, so let's just hope it all works out. The U-turn, I should have said it, but I did expect that. Oh, they're gonna bring Calyrex in. Oh, no, it's fine. Terra Grass is doing me absolutely no favors here. So, oh, Heatran, okay. Shiny, very cool, love it. We unset the Trick Room, meaning we are now, once again, the fastest things on the field. And with these Pokemon on the field, there's no way for them to reset Trick Room. Was that a team sheet mistake? It showed Iron Head on the team sheet, didn't it? I could have swore it did. I wonder why that is. That's interesting. But we do have the Behemoth Blade, that's nice. I'm thinking. I feel like Koraidon has to Terrasilize here if it wants to do, well, anything. For that reason, I'll just endeavor the Heatran. Ah! Please come back! Ah! I dropped my mic. I'll figure out how to edit that. The Koraidon did Terrasilize to fire. We love to see that. Flare Blitz fails. Very good. Endeavor should, yeah, chunk Heatran a little bit. Flash Cannon should bring me low. If I'm them now, I really do want to prioritize the knockout onto Fluttermane, since I've shown Endeavor a few times now, and none of their Pokemon can take the combination of attacks that I would be putting out with Zacian and Endeavor Whimsicott. Is a double switch good here? I think it is, actually. Switching Chien-Pao on the Zacian slot specifically. Yeah, exactly, yes, yeah. So, what we're going to do is we're going to double switch. We're going to switch Chien-Pao specifically on the Zacian slot to avoid the potential Flash Cannon. Though I suspect they should be using dual Fire-type moves, since that's probably the best way to do this. But the goal is mostly just to keep not Zamazenta, to keep Zacian safe. The attack boost isn't as relevant as the boost that I get from like the Sword of Ruin, or just, you know, having Zacian as a whole. Cool, I get the Protect, that's nice. Show me Flash Cannon at the... Oh, it's Heat Wave, that is so annoying. Even with the rain, that does a fair bit. No burns. Cool. I don't think they can really afford to keep Koraidon in here. But they also really don't have a great switch in. If they're going to switch Koraidon, it's going to be to Rillaboom. With that in mind, I will Ice Shard Koraidon in Origin Pulse. I mostly want to avoid a situation where they keep Koraidon in, and I get no value out of Chien-Pao, Chien-Pao's attack, since Koraidon could be faster. Sorry, could be tying. So I'm pretty sure I'm max speed. I didn't check that. God damn it. Oopsie. Well, we'll have to see how it goes. Koraidon does switch. That's very good. And it does switch to Rillaboom. Look at me, looking pretty smart now. They double switch as well. That's probably a pretty great play from them, actually. That's good. It's something that they have to do. I get my Ice Shard into Rillaboom for the knockout. Lovely. As long as I'm hitting Origin Pulse here, I'm going to be in a fabulous position. Come on, yeah! Let's go! Not for the knockout, but for more than enough damage. So, we should be able to use Whimsicott as a good defensive switch here, since Fluttermane is just so absurdly threatened by... They go straight for the Kyogre, for the Koraidon. That's an interesting switch in, like, Koraidon could knock out Chien-Pao with Flame Charge. Maybe there's Swords Dance Trick Room. I don't think they have the benefit of being able to play so defensively, but I have the advantage of just saying, hey, I can swap Whimsicott or Zacian in to deal with the attacks for the turn. In this case, I'm going to swap Whimsicott in. It's done its support, it's broken through and done a little bit of damage on some of the Pokemon. So if I'm sacking Chien-Pao for a free switch back into what's his face, I'm blanking on the name. If I'm sacking Chien-Pao for a free switch back into Kyogre, then that's definitely good for me. So I'm very happy to let Whimsicott go down here, because a little bit of chip on Heatran never hurt anyone. Let's see what they're doing. Collision Course, great. They're going to take the knockout. We wanted that. Our Terra is still on the board, and they have to knock out Whimsicott if they want to avoid the Endeavor, since that's going to completely debilitate well, their whole team, really. It's going to debilitate... Well, there's the stutter. Given the circumstances, I can just stand Kyogre, and that's the key detail. After all that stuttering and such sadness. Koraidon, there's no good switch in now. Fluttermane has no health, so if they want to sack Fluttermane or play for a miss, then they can. But they probably have to make it far out. Whatever they do, they've got to probably accept that they don't get more out of Flutter Mane now. A Water Spout, not because it's the, well, I could Water Spout Tailwind actually, and then I could bring Zacian in on the KO, on the inevitable KO on Flutter Mane. Okay, I see the vision. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna Water Spout and Tailwind. Since they only have Flutter Mane to set Trick Room with, well, they just gave up Flutter Mane actually. Yeah, this makes the Flutter Mane situation quite low risk. I keep stuttering a lot today. It's very annoying. Water Spout comes through. It is easily gonna knock out both. Beautiful. Koraidon comes in. We will lose the Sun, but it's Terra Fire, and I've got faster max power Water Spout. We can now Water Spout Endeavor, and that seals the game up. Endeavor brings Koraidon down to 8 HP. Water Spout finishes it off. Beautiful! Woohoo! First game, and it's a win. Oh! And it was a clean win at that. I got that one Rillaboom prediction right. I felt amazing. Hoo-wee! That felt good. I liked that. Well, with that in mind, I guess I'll see you for battle 2. Battle number 2! We're playing what may as well be a stall team. It's more so made to deal with things like Miraidon, like Raging Bolt, really strong electric type attackers that just rip through a lot of things in the format. So, with that in mind, I'm willing to bet that Rhydon never comes to this battle. Heck, I'm going to make an immediate call. It's probably some combination of Koraidon, Flutter Mane, and Incineroar in the front, maybe Toxapex, with Ho-Oh in the back. It's the Incineroar and Toxapex that are very interchangeable. I suspect it will be Toxapex specifically, since while Intimidate's useful on Zamazenta, the risks are not worth it. I do need to quickly check something though. After going to the bunker, I have verified Chien-Pao is a adamant attacker here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave. I actually don't know what I want to do. I have an idea. I knew I was going to want some speed support, but more than that, I want to be able to hit things like Toxapex and Ho-Oh with taunts before they get to move. If Ho-Oh fails to set a Tailwind for a turn while I'm doing damage, that's perfect. Oh, look at me. The leads weren't what I said they were going to be, but it's a combination of Pokemon that I said were possible. That's something. So we're going to probably taunt Ho-Oh. We're probably going to just double Ho-Oh. Well, let's think. Do they actually want to set Tailwind? They probably should. Because I don't think they want to play a speed tie with Chien-Pao, and they also need to outspeed Zacian to win. So I can taunt Ho-Oh to prevent Tailwind this turn, but I'm not putting any pressure onto the Toxapex, which is really spooky to me. Is it possible for me to knock out Toxapex in one turn if I Terra Stellar Crunch and Dark Pulse? If I do, what do they do after that? That gets knocked out, they probably just bring Koraidon or Flutter Mane in. You know what, I like the idea. Let's go for it. It's probably not the way I should play this, because if they get the Tailwind for free, then I am going to be in a rough position, but I feel like I can win if I get rid of this Toxapex. I feel like that's one of the big things that I just need to deal with right now to actually get a really good foothold in this game. Dark Pulse, how much damage? There's a chance to flinch, I think. No, Crunch is defense drop, not flinch. Ooh. And it doesn't quite KO. Does Toxapex get to move? Probably. It's like 99.9% of the time. They do just go on the offense. That is unfortunate. Not a great trade for me, to be completely honest. But they didn't set up. Well, it's not totally terrible. They do get the Muddy Water. And the draw. Oh my lord. Okay. We're starting to get a bit spooked now. This is what the kids call spooky dookie. Because, yeah. Now I'm like that much more. It's some ridiculous number. Like, it's like 80% now on the Dark Pulse. Like, if I take out Toxapex this turn. No, they're not going to let me. They're going to switch. If they have a switch, it'll either be Koraidon or Incineroar. I suspect it's Koraidon Flutter Mane in the back, so I suspect they'll switch Koraidon in specifically this turn. If they're doing that, then Hurricane becomes practically guaranteed to miss. So we'll taunt Ho-Oh, play rough. I don't really want to play rough. I don't want to ignore this Ho-Oh too aggressively, so I'll protect. Even if I'm getting the turn perfect, which it looks like I might be, I don't want to risk giving up my restricted. Oh my god, I had it! If they just go on the offense with Ho-Oh, I'm going to look really dumb. That being said, if I get this right and I get to attack into Koraidon for free, then I could look really smart. It's a 50-50. If they go on the offense, I'm going to be in a bad position. Dang. Well, now they can't set up Tailwind, actually, so I can actually safely outspeed. I don't have to worry about speed, actually. I can Hurricane Kyogre, Koraidon, I keep doing that, and switch Kyogre in. Toxapex is going to be a threat all game, but it's not going to want to switch in on the guaranteed hit Hurricane. And if Koraidon's not terrestrializing here, it's gone as hell. And right now, my team isn't struggling for speed, so I don't really want to waste my time putting a Tailwind up. They do terrestrialize, that makes sense. That also makes sense. Terrifier, I assume? Yeah. Really, what I'm hoping for here is the potential confusion, hit themselves in confusion situation. That would be really phenomenal. It's not something that I need, but it would be nice. I don't get the confusion. I don't think I tank that either. Oh, I do tank that. Are they doubling Jugulus? No. Perfect. Burn? No. Perfect. I thought this had Tailwind for some reason. Why did I think this has Tailwind? What made me believe that? Now both of their Pokemon are pretty vulnerable to just straight up Origin Pulse. Like, Koraidon can't take that hit. I doubt Toxapex can take that hit. I imagine they're probably switching Ho-Oh here, which is why I'm Dark Pulsing, because I assume they want to try and get... Well, they're at full health. Protect switch to Toxapex would be nice. It'd be cute, but it wouldn't do much. They do withdraw Ho-Oh. It looks like I'm doing a decent job with the predictions today. It is Toxapex. Look at me. They do protect. Look at me. Woo! I'm not bad. I'm not bad. Dark Pulse doesn't KO. I'm glad to have doubled. As long as I actually hit Toxapex, I'll be happy. Cool. Haven't missed Origin Pulse today. That's something. Koraidon is trapped on the field. It has to, well, it can switch. They can switch. Is it Booster or Sash? Probably Sash. In spite of the accuracy drop, I think I'm gonna try to Snarl to try and reduce the damage on Fluttermane. Is that a good call? It probably isn't. Because if I miss the Snarl onto Fluttermane and it is Sash, then I'll lose it. Then I'll probably just lose instantly. I need to knock out this Fluttermane. That is my biggest priority now. More than anything, I really do need to make sure I actually hit Fluttermane for a strong attack. Hurricane comes through. If I'd gone for Koraidon there, I could have been in a great position, but I took a risk. Are they doubling? Break and swipe, that should be okay. Knocking out Zacian isn't my favorite, but if I'm hitting both of my Origin Pulses, then... yeah, boom. That should be game. Let's go! Woo! Obviously, I can't say that with absolute certainty yet. Like, I haven't won. But I've brought it real damn close. They're not just reliant on a burn now, they are reliant on so much more to actually break through with Ho-Oh. Just because that Zacian in the rain is just a massive, no, I checked that. It's just a massive advantage. For now, I guess I'm just gonna Behemoth Blade and probably Water Spout. Well, they have to knock out Kyogre here, don't they? How long does Rain last? Rain is for 2 turns. If they can protect, they're going to. For that reason, I'll just... I guess, I'll check the speed stat on Kyogre, actually, if it's... That's not what I meant to look at. Whoa. I'm floundering with the system here. I know. You know what? I'm just gonna bet on it. I had speed. It's all Water Spout. Oh, it does protect. All of that freaking and deacon. I don't know what that means. All of that to say, Ho is protecting. We're safe. Let's move it along. Today, people, today. Holy crap, that took forever. We're gonna make the exact same play. They probably have to hit a double if they want any chance at winning. I assume. Maybe if I was using Play Rough and like they weren't clear Amulet and I got an attack drop, that might be one way, but that should lock the game up. What? Oh, I have like 0 HP. That was really stupid. Wow. How did that slip my mind? Damaged by the recoil. It's something. I guess Behemoth Blade crit is probably my best odds. Play Rough is clearly... I think I'm gonna have to have Behemoth Blade and probably crit one of my attacks to guarantee a win here. There's nothing I can stall out, is there? Like, yeah. They've only used Sacred Fire twice? Maybe thrice? That means they have 5 more. Yeah, there's no point trying to stall the PP here. I'm just gonna have to hope that I find my way through this. How much damage? It's in range. Is that a crit? No. But as long as I survive this, nope. Nope. Battle 3, and this is the third Koraidon in a row that we've played, right? Yeah, the first one, yeah, that's crazy. This time, we've got Calyrex Shadow as the Koraidon's partner. Now that I remember that I'm not Tailwind on Jugulis, I'm not sure why I believed it was Tailwind. I should have known that. I'm kind of inclined to not bring it now, because I do actually want the Tailwind pretty desperately. So leave it be. That mistake can be left behind. So, what are they going to be doing this game? I think some type of Calyrex Ogerpon lead is always going to be pretty decent for them. Of course, if I'm Scarf on the Kyogre, then they'd want to have ways of dealing with that. So for that reason, I think Calyrex Ogerpon Calyrex Rillaboom. I think they're going to lead Calyrex Rillaboom with Koraidon Clefairy or Urshifu in the back. Probably Urshifu since they have the rain. If I use Whimsicott to do the Moonblast and Endeavor Calyrex's partner, I should be able to knock it out quickly. Not Calyrex in the front, it was Urshifu. My Chien-Pao is not Covert Cloak, it is not Focus Sash, it is not Terra Ghost, so I have to switch it here. There's just no choice, I have to. They play Fake Out doubling Chien-Pao here. I guess I'm bringing Zacian in here, I really don't want to do anything else. And setting up Endeavor right now is just not that relevant. I'm going to Endeavor into Urshifu. Of course, I just said it, I don't need a Tailwind. But more than that, I feel like they're going to Fake Out or U-Turn or even... Actually, yeah, just Fake Out a U-Turn should hit Whimsicott here, whether it's Urshifu using U-Turn or otherwise. I think we're gonna see a little bit of damage on the Whimsicott, so I want to get Endeavor out of it. Extra HP. I need to take KOs quickly. They're Terastallizing, which means they're probably not. It decreases the chances that they're faking out here, since it just doesn't seem like they'd want to do that. Yeah, they're just trying to get the KO. I'm faster. That means they're not Scarf. It could be Mystic Water or Banned. We'll figure that out right now. Probably Mystic Water. That might be Banned, actually. And with that much damage, I'm not loving that. They can just keep attacking aggressively into Zacian here. And that's just such a low risk play. I don't want to switch Kyogre on a Grassy Glide. I don't want to take a Surging Strikes. I've put myself in a bad position, to say it nicely. I played rough into Urshifu. I knocked that out. I Tailwind. It's going to be contingent on me surviving that Grassy Glide, but I wasn't paying attention to the damage that it did. So, double check the back. Yep. I think I'm just going to set Tailwind here and assume that I live a Grassy Glide, because at this point, I need that if I want any chance at winning. They don't Grassy Glide, so that could mean that I'm losing Zacian right now. But if I'm forcing Koraidon to the field, I could potentially put the Kyogre switch in. Okay, they went High Horse. That's good to know. So they probably can't U-turn. It's either U-turn or Fake Out that they're now missing, since I'm pretty confident they're going to have Wood Hammer regardless. I'm going to bring Chien-Pao in. Chien-Pao should be able to put serious threat into, well, literally everything. Ogerpon, so they've left a Restricted behind. Well, if that's the case, then what Restricted would they want? Not one. Okay, so they've left Koraidon behind. Let's make that the core assessment of our position. They do not have Koraidon. If they brought Koraidon, they wouldn't be playing the game like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to Ice Spinner the Rillaboom. The last time I used, well, I feel like I can do better than that. If I protect Chien-Pao, protect Chien-Pao. They're playing a Grassy Glide, Ivy Cudgel it. What I can do is I can put Ogerpon in range with Endeavor, follow that up with Terra Stellar, Ice Spinner or something like that to knock it out. Because I need to get, they doubled, wow. And they don't, okay, so we've seen Grassy Glide, High Horsepower, and Drain Punch. That probably means their final move is, their final move's actually super effective. I don't think I need to Terastallize to make that happen. And how much HP does... You have your Zacian attack. That's good. And Tailwind lasts for 2 more turns. Okay. Okay, I've got the turn. No Terastallization. Don't do that. Ice Spinner into Ogerpon. Switch to Kyogre. I doubt that they're using a Wood Hammer into the Whimsicott slot. It might be knockoff. It might be U-turn. But at the same time, it's probably just like Grassy Glide or something into the Whimsicott. Or they're ignoring it. Yeah, they're ignoring it. It should have That should have occurred to me. Ice Spinner is really important that I'm using Ice Spinner here, not Ice Shard. Even though Ice Shard would let me attack before Grassy Glide, I've now forced them not to use Grassy Glide for the rest of the game, meaning my Kyogre is actually now pretty safe. Is Koraidon in the back? Oh my lord. I am not getting these turns right. But also, neither are they, because they've already popped their Terra. I could go Stellar Ice Shard into Koraidon. That's reasonably safe. Alternatively, I can just protect Koraidon, protect switch to Whimsicott's actually even safer, since I'll be able to stall out my own turn of Tailwind, and unless they're doubling the Kyogre slot here, I'll be in a great position. Actually, even if they do double the Kyogre slot, I'll be in a great position. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, double Kyogre, that'd actually be pretty good for me. That would be phenomenal, actually. That'd be really good, because Whimsicott's not actually doing a ton even after setting a Tailwind. It's not actually going to do much more. I would guess that it's Adamant on the... Wow, they doubled again. That's weird. I imagine it's Adamant on the Koraidon. I can now Ice Spinner Koraidon. I can also just Dazzling Gleam as well, actually. Do I need to set up Tailwind right now? What are the chances that Koraidon protects? Pretty high. So on the off chance that they're faster or that they protect, I'll go Ice Shard into Rillaboom, Dazzling Gleam. They do protect. See? I'm thinking Omega Brain right now. I could have just Ice Spinnered. Well, actually, no, the Ice Shard's the right play. Ice Shard's the right play. If they protect, then... Because if they didn't protect with Koraidon, then I would have had a much worse position. Yeah, no. I was right. We're good. Cool. I knock out Rillaboom. That is game. Whew! They really needed to take a KO with Rillaboom there if they wanted to win, but I wasn't going to let them. Yeah, there they go. Cancels the battle. That makes sense. Oh, good team. I'll tell you that much. That was 3 battles with this team. Not bad. 2 wins as well. Like, that's not bad at all. I'd say, in fact, that's pretty good. I would note that I probably should have won that second game as well, actually. Because I wasn't playing particularly well in game 2. But even then, I worked myself into an endgame where Thunder or Origin Pulse into that Ho-Oh would have won me the game pretty well instantly. But I was thinking about the accuracy of Origin Pulse, and honestly, Thunder just kind of skipped my mind. Like, I was writing it off, and it wasn't really registering in my mind that it was actually a really good play. So that's on me. Having 2 wins with a team like this is really nice, and knowing that third game could have been a win had I played better. Ooh, it's a good feeling. I didn't once bring that Landorus, which is sad because I thought I was gonna bring the Landorus like every single game, but I never really wanted to. And then the other sad thing was that I somehow thought that Iron Jugulus had Tailwind, even though nothing ever showed that it had Tailwind. That being said, it does come up as Iron Head on the team sheet for Zacian. That's really weird. I thought I'd double check that while I was here. Anyway, with all that preamble out of the way, let's talk about the team. What was good? What was bad? What was? Straight away, the one thing I wanted to note was that I actually really liked the Whimsicott. I didn't necessarily find myself wanting to use Dazzling Gleam for damage very often, which makes sense. You have Focus Sash Endeavor, so you can always want to make situations where you can just click that and then blow up the Pokemon with another strong move, so it makes sense that I wasn't using Dazzling Gleam that often, but I didn't expect to enjoy and want to click Endeavor that much. It was a very clean move. I liked it. Even at full health, it was doing, 20%, maybe 30% to Pokemon like Heatran, to Pokemon like Koraidon, and stuff like that. And that's the difference maker in terms of taking KOs sometimes. Due in part to the matchup, the other Pokemon I really wanted to highlight was Kyogre, who clutched up so much. 3 Sun teams in a row for the time that we play Kyogre. Holy. It might not be the fairest showing. But yeah, I didn't miss a single Origin Pulse. Massive. Water Spout, consistent move. I did click Water Spout at the wrong time with that Ho-Oh, but that's my fault, not Kyogre's. As for the rest of the Pokemon, I think the third noteworthy Pokemon isn't Zacian, it's Chien-Pao. That thing was great. It was phenomenal. Being able to one-tap a Rillaboom with Ice Shard was massive. And being in positions where I could just use Chien-Pao to cleanly unset the grassy terrain, knock out Rillaboom, and do stuff like, and threaten Koraidons in every single game was fabulous. It forced the Terra and it made Kyogre really good. So, Chien-Pao, very good. Also noteworthy, it was the only Pokemon I Terastallized in any of the 3 games. I Terastallized it in game 2, and truthfully, I really didn't have to. Maybe Crunch with the Stellar Boost was a range. It's possible. But at the same time, the fact that it didn't KO kind of justifies that I was overcommitting to that Toxapex KO and it just wasn't worth it. But what do you do? Mistakes and mistakes and mistake. It is what it is. The next thing I want to mention is Zacian. It was fine. It was okay. I don't like playing Zacian, and this is part of the reason why. I find it to be a little bit meh. Like, it's just not that good. I'm sorry. You can't switch it around as cleanly, and it's not great defensively like Kyogre. And maybe that's how the team's meant to line itself up so that it can use the more defensive capacity that Kyogre brings to help Zacian out. But like, I was so antsy and a bit nervous to switch in Zacian, and it never felt good when my gut was telling me that the best play was to switch it out. Because you'd always be... Sorry about that. You'd always be very encouraged to keep Zacian in as long as you could. But like, sometimes it has to switch out. And that's really annoying. So I'd keep that in mind. Zacian is really not my favorite defensively speaking. But I mean, when it was doing damage, like the Behemoth Blade doing what? 26% to the Ho-Oh? It gave me a real shot to win that game too when I really shouldn't have won. So the fact that it gave me life was proof that Zacian is still a phenomenal Pokemon, but definitely not one for me. That leaves us with our flying type Pokemon. I can't necessarily say much about Landorus. It didn't come to any of the games. I mean, fundamentally, it makes a lot of sense. We talked about it at the start of the video. You have the Terra Grand Sandseers, the Earth Powers. Initially, looking at a team like this, I would assume Ghost Terra is better, but I'm not really one to speak here. Again, I don't have any experience with this Landorus, and I just said it, but I didn't play the Landorus at all, so I'm not going to go too in-depth on it. As for Jugulis, probably also mostly my fault. That Jugulis, it wasn't amazing. Now, again, that is almost definitely my fault. With a favorable matchup into Pokemon like Fluttermane without the booster speed, my ability to fumble Jugulis was pretty phenomenal. I wouldn't highlight using Taunt on Ho-Oh as a mistake or a failure or anything like that, but the fact that many turns that I tried to make plays with Jugulis amounted to, well, nothing, to say it nicely, was not great. But at the same time, it was another Pokemon that gave me a very legitimate chance to win the game had I played better. So even though I lost with Jugulis, I can see why I lost, and I can see that it's not really Jugulis' fault. Though this is the second time I've played with Jugulis, and I'm still not loving it. Still not loving it. Like, it's good, but also it's not for me. It's like Zacian. I can tell you that Zacian's good. It was good in all 3 games that I brought it. But that doesn't mean it's good for me. It doesn't quite suit the way I like to play the game. But I think that's just the nature of a team like this. It's probably why it matches up so well into me. Because I play the game in a way that doesn't necessarily suit Zacian, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, when I'm playing my own teams and I play against this, I tend to lose because they probably have a better understanding of how to actually maneuver that Zacian and how to get it more valuable. To make it more valuable. Let me try that again. Speaking's hard, people. Speaking's hard. I don't necessarily think there's more to say about this team, though. Like, I can ramble about what could have been if we'd played Miraidon or Groudon or something like that. But that's not what you're here for. You were here for the battles. You got your breakdown. This is more for me than anyone else. But with that in mind, I'm gonna leave it there. Actually, no, I'm not. Yes, I am, actually. Fuck you. Bye-bye.